As absurd as it might seem, let's talk about it anyway. Barcelona in the Premier League as a result of a would-be referendum on Catalan independence. I don't want to get political, Shaka, but let's talk about the prospects, just for a moment, from a footballing perspective, of Barcelona no longer being welcome in La Liga if Catalonia were to break away, and Barcelona moving to the Premier League.
Well, the prospects stop at whether Barcelona will still be welcome in La Liga, in the Spanish league. I don't see why not. I think that's more damaging to the league than it is beneficial, politics aside, as you say. Outside of that, everything else is a no-go. To the Premier League, it's not going to happen. Glasgow Rangers and Glasgow Celtic were trying to get into the Premier League, lobbying to get into the Premier League for a number of years. They have the strength of following, and of course, there are those political ties, historical political ties between Scotland and England. That wouldn't happen. The English Premier League didn't allow it. FIFA wouldn't rubber stamp it. So I don't know how Barcelona coming to the Premier League somehow negotiates those hurdles that the two Scottish clubs were able to. That's a non-starter, and I don't see how it happens, politics aside.
I mean, they still would thrive, surely, on a rivalry with other Spanish clubs. I mean, that's part of what this whole referendum is about. Catalonia staking its claim as an independent nation wouldn't change the fact that they would want a representative to go against Spain's best.
Correct. I don't see that as being an issue, whether Catalonia does get their independence. And again, I'm not getting into the politics of this at all. But I think having Barcelona and the other Catalonian clubs involved in La Liga is beneficial to the league on its whole. And then there's also those historical ties that remain and you cannot discount. And as much as I use Glasgow Celtic and Rangers as examples, there are Welsh clubs, for example, that are involved in the English league. In the English Premier League in Swansea, we had Cardiff in the Premier League not so long ago as well. And that speaks to those historical ties. And though you have those Welsh teams playing in England, at this point they frowned on Scottish teams making that jump. As a result, again, I don't see Catalonian clubs making that jump, but I don't see why Spain severs ties with Catalonian clubs if it does come to that, if it does come to an independence vote and it passes.
Okay, so we're left at the moment with Barcelona very much part of La Liga. That's what we hope for. Politics aside, cultural ties very hard to replace.